Hello, hello. Thank you for joining for another Freeze Corner. This one is a little different. We're going to call it gun talk, all right? So I need y'all to pay attention, understand the safety and the value behind this video. This video is starring me and my boy Daniel, avid gun collectors, gun watchers, gun builders. We like it all, so don't mind my little floaty hand, you know what I'm saying? Because it was really fun. So by all means, I hope that y'all enjoy this video and have a good time with it. All right. Welcome to Gun Talk.
All right, so welcome back to Freeze Corner. Thank you for another show, another shot. Here I have my boy Daniel. Daniel, you know what I'm saying? He is like me, and as you can see, like me, we are avid gun lovers and gun carriers and just advocates of all kinds of safety programs that probably don't agree with the state of Virginia law, but we are there. So as you can see, we have a couple of our favorite loves on the table. You know what I'm saying? I'll let him go ahead and introduce a couple of his first, since he has the super modified ones.
Yeah, we'll start with the basic Glock 19, 9mm, your basic run-of-the-mill type of firearm. Holds 15 in the magazine and 1 in the pipe. Nothing special. Gen 4. This is my latest build. This is an AR-15 platform, 5.56-223. We'll start from the top to the bottom. So, O-light, super bright, so easy to see in the dark. Have an M-lock rail system and a forward grip to hold. For my sights, I went with a 6-hour red dot. It comes on as soon as you pick it up. It's a Romeo 5. Magpul candy. And went with a BAD lever. It's easy to press and locks the bolt to the rear and to the front. And then just a simple extended on the mag release. Other than that, that is it. She runs great. What you got over there, Trey?
Well, starting with all of my wonderful things over here. So, starting right here, we got one of my favorites. We got the Tourist Judge 5-shot revolver. No safety needed, just all point and click and shoot. So, you know what I'm saying? Of course, this is one of the few rare guns. This one takes 4 10 shotgun shells. Not the long ones, it has to be the short ones. If you use the long ones, your barrel will get stuck when it tries to rotate. And it also takes 45 long coat rounds, also called as cowboy killers. These things are guaranteed to leave a hole in the side of the car that look like you got shot with a shotgun. It's fun time. That's a fun time, yeah. So yeah, this is one of my favorite ones. You know, you gotta have fun with these. I would take this out to the country, shoot. More for self-defense or home defense. Not something that I would use in like target shooting, any kind of range shooting for the most part. Because of the size of the ammo, it's good for short-term shooting, defense like within the next 20 feet. Something not too far away, so plus it leaves no shells. We all know how that goes. Right here, I got my other favorite gun. This is one of my other guns. This is a HK VP40. This gun is super hard to find on shelves. It's super hard to find online. I think even if you find one of those, it still comes out to like $600. This gun has been around since 2017. Of course, a lot of people have a lot of the variants of this gun, the HK VP9. It's a little smaller railing, smaller slide. So of course it shoots 9mm rounds. This one shoots 40 Smith & Wesson rounds. So of course, it's one of my favorite guns, always accurate. This is a Federal edition. Of course, it has the 2 pullbacks right here to make it pull back a lot easier. Has night sights in white, green. I haven't added anything to this gun. It's just pretty pure shot. You can't go wrong with this shot. If you miss with this, then you probably shouldn't be handling a gun. But this is a little different. This one has like a downward unlocking action for your magazine. Which I went through and customized not too long ago. So now it's super stiff. So, but the gun works perfect. I ran a little over 200 rounds through this one already. I just recently got it back from the police division from an unfortunate robbery that I had in 2017. But thankfully nobody was hurt with the gun, and I got the gun back. Thank you, Virginia Beach Police Department, for helping me out with that one. Of course, which one did I want to go to? This one right here. This is my Smith & Wesson M&P 1522. As I came to find out, a lot of people have this gun. Like, a lot of people have this gun. It looks like an AR-15, but it really shoots 22 long rifle rounds.
Show them the difference, because I think a lot of people don't know the difference between the bullet size.
Yeah, the bullet size is completely different when you come down to checking the bullet. So he has an AR-15 round. Is this a 5.56 or a 223? 5.56. And then for my Smith & Wesson, you get that. like it's a very big difference. You know, not just size, but gunpowder, grain. Everything is a big difference for this. You might not feel it if you get hit with this. But, you know,
after a couple rounds, you're going to be leaving a couple holes to bleed out of.
Yeah, a couple of holes is going to leave you. And then one thing you got to remember, a 22 is very dangerous. You get shot with a 22, it's a good chance you lose the bullet. You can lose it. It might piss you off, but in the long run, you lose the bullet. Yeah. So nothing too special about this gun. It's almost dignified to be just like an AR-15. Only difference is you don't have that dust cover. You have like a regular gun like shoot. It just shoots out the 22 rounds. It just fiend, it just shoots all outside. On the side, it still has safety, still has your fire, still has a hard trigger pull back. It does have the flip up mag pull sights. These have actually been sighted in. I'm pretty good with these sights. These ones, shout out to my dad for helping me sight this one out. He thinks it's a cool little gun, but he would never buy one. It's too small for him. But it does have the adjustable stock, so you get comfort from the shoulder, or you can take it down and you still get it in deep. But more customization will come for that one at some point in time. Now, like my brother Daniel here, I also have an AR-15 as well. So I built this from scratch. The whole pistol kit, the bump stock, the upper receiver part. I bought this this Anderson manufacturing strip lower, completely stripped with nothing in it. As you can see, it has a mil-spec trigger on it. Thank you. Of course, like all of my guns, it does come with a fire and a safety. This one doesn't have anything special on it. It's pretty to the T. This one does extend out and it does close down. I'm thinking about a couple of other upgrades, like the grip in the front, maybe another set of mag pull sights, maybe another bolt carrier. I do want to build a 300 blackout.
That's my next build.
Say I really want to build one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, thanks to everybody in the pandemic thinking that there was some type of apocalypse coming, it's so hard to buy parts for a gun these days. Yeah. But sooner or later I will be running through, and I'll make a video to like show how I build like the whole way through. Will I get a flashlight for this? Probably. Will I get one of those folding butt clips?
Did you get my next one? Not yet. I don't need to get that.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking about getting one of those folding butt clips, because that just seems like it would be the perfect idea. Of course, there's nothing fancy about this gun at all. Like I haven't done anything for this gun, but it does shoot 5.56 and 2.23 wild. So I'm thinking about just stripping that gun back down completely and just turn it into a 300 blackout series.
All you need is the upper. Found the upper.
The uppers cost like $800 these days. Uppers are pretty expensive.
Everything, yeah.
The main thing we wanted to talk about with this video today, something that doesn't seem to be talked about enough, is gun safety. It always seems to be that you see people showing off guns on YouTube, but you never see people demonstrating the form and mean of being safe with the guns, rather than just showing them off. Of course, we have them laid out across the table, but me and Daniel both are former military. We are both very well versed in the gun world. We both do shoot regularly. I'm trying to go shoot again here in the weekend. It's about $100 every time we go to the range to go shoot.
That's expensive.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Shout out to Biden. There we go a couple times. To Biden.
Yeah, as long as he's not trying to take my magazines or nothing. Yeah.
Different topic.
Yeah. I mean, but gun safety, you know, if you're like a rookie or an amateur shooter, amateur carrier, get you something like a semi-automatic, like, and don't try to be like everybody and just go out and try to get you a Glock.
Yeah. That's the Glock life.
It's Glocks. Like, you know what I'm saying? One thing you can say about Glocks are very reliable. They work very well. It doesn't matter the situation you're in, the Glock will always work.
Yeah.
But if you've never used the Glock, then you would know there's only one safety on the Glock, and that's just the trigger. Yeah. So if you've never been a Glock user, I want to honestly say you have no business being with a Glock. Yeah. It's not a marriage for you. Hell, even a gun like this doesn't have any safeties on it. This is just a straight shot. Same thing with the Glock. It just has the nice little trigger safety in there. It's probably still not for the best for anybody. I always suggest a gun that comes with the actual safety, an ambidextrous safety for both sides of the gun.
Yeah, Taurus came out with one as the G2C. Some of those, I believe, come with safeties. Actually, working at a gun range, we actually started people out with a 22 caliber pistol. The recoil is easier on that for the ladies and some of the men, but ladies love the 22 starting out, and then they gradually work themselves up to a 40 or a 9. But safeties, you know, it starts with you overall, because if you're fundamentally not able to work that weapon or don't know how to work that weapon properly, you're liable for yourself and for others around you. And guns don't really care where you point it at or when you shoot it. They're just going to do what you point it at and shoot it at. So they don't really care. So safety is by far the most important thing when it comes to a weapon.
Yeah, I definitely agree. If you're a rookie to this gun and stuff, please leave the revolvers alone. Like, revolvers, it takes a lot to pull a trigger on a revolver back. Yeah. But, you know, like for a lot of people, once you pull the hammer back, like, a lot of people lack the strength in their fingertips to pull the hammer back down, and they end up blowing their hands off. Yeah. like, if you pull it back, you know, make sure you're going to let it go and you let it down with a slow release, so it can be straight. But, you know, like I say, if you're a rookie, definitely the Taurus G2C or like any of the Taurus guns, really, or a Ruger. Yeah. Like a Ruger Security 9, safe for first-time buyers. Yeah. Trying to jump straight into AR-15s and Glocks and all the stuff you saw on John Wick, that's potentially dangerous, not just for you, but whoever you may be around at the time. Yeah. And we want to keep everything as safe as possible, just simply because, like, we enjoy this little bit of freedom. Yeah. And me being an avid gun buyer, I buy a lot of guns. I have a lot of guns. Like, I have a lot of guns. Yeah. I prefer to keep this particular piece of law, like, going. Yeah. Now, do I go a little bit too far sometimes? Yeah, probably. Just a little bit. Yeah. Like, I could say I take it a little too far sometimes.
Yeah, but with the ARs, so if you are looking to get into an AR, you've done this before, you've had some experience, the AR platform is probably the best bet. Not because, you know, it's popular by demand, everyone has an AR, but it's easy to use, easy to clean, not too hard to function. And it's also customizable. A lot of people look at the AKs. You know, AKs are great, but you gotta realize AKs come in one standard form. It's just an AK basic way. I mean, you can customize it, yes, but it's not as easy as the AR platform. So I definitely say if you're going to get into an AR or to a rifle style, AR is going to be your best bet. And then after a while, I mean, you can jump from an AR to things like a SCAR. You can get into other platforms like that. But starting out, I think anybody who wants to get into the rifle platform, AR is the best way to go. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty simple. I mean, 22s like Trey has there, I mean, that's easy. And the reason behind 22s, it's more of a hunting for squirrel, for smaller animals like that. A lot of people don't realize that 22 just basically came out for things like that. But again, I mean, AR again comes in the 5.56 or the 2.23. Depends on which one you kind of like. I mean, I go with both. So.
I mean, I go both. I got
Yeah.
4 clips, 2 set for 2.23s, 2 set for 5.56.
Yeah.
There's no real difference in the recoil. There's no real difference in the feeling of the shot for certain bullets.
Yeah.
But there is like a difference if you're shooting like a 22 versus a 5.56.
Yeah.
There's a firm difference.
Yeah.
Sound, pressure.
Yeah.
Velocity.
So, main thing when you get into safety, one thing that I learned being a coach and a mentor at a gun range, practice. I mean, I know ammo is like $1 a round right now for pretty much everything. It's $1 a round, but I mean, you can come across some stuff that's pretty cheap out there. But practice. I mean, even if it's 25 shots a month, and you go to a range just to practice. That's a big issue we see with a lot of people coming out and just getting a concealed handgun license or just want it for protection. They don't practice, or they don't even try to attempt to practice. Even if you're at home and just run through the steps, you have to keep consistent with training. That's a big thing when it comes to people in the military. We learn range after range after range. You have to be consistent. You have to keep that going. If you don't, you'll lose it, and you'll lose the mindset of, hey, how do I hold the weapon? How do I clear the weapon, etc. So please, I mean, if you have some ammo laying around, or you know someone with that, it's a little bit of ammo, go to the range and practice. I think there's one in Virginia Beach that we go to all the time. Was Freedom
Shooting. They
Yeah.
also have axe throwing there, which I plan on doing this weekend. I'm throwing an axe. I don't care how nobody feels. I'm going to throw one.
Hey, I mean, if Mad Max came around and the only thing you had was an axe, hey, I mean, you might be a little bit of...
I mean, Mad Max is going to have to go through me. I don't care how you feel. Like I said, I got a couple more.
Yeah.
I got a couple more for them.
I won't do the axe throwing, but I do know they have a class where you can go through barricades, you run around kind of deal. So that's that. I mean, especially if you're getting into the AR platform. Listen, in a gunfight, or if you're, got 4 or 5 people trying to break into your house, not everyone's going to stand at the door, shake hands, and say, let's battle. I mean, it's not that kind of a deal. I mean, you're going to be running around, hiding behind things, maneuvering, and so you're going to have to learn eventually, hey, if I'm in my house, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Which kind of brings up to the next subject on that. A lot of people don't realize your pistol is going to be your main weapon inside of a house, I hope. Could be a shotgun, but most people carry a pistol. Big thing for safety, I know for Trey and for myself as fathers, is children.
Yeah.
Children are curious. Children are going to snoop around, and children are going to find your weapon. I know for mothers, it's like, hey, don't ever leave your weapon sitting on the counter in the kitchen, loaded, ready to go. Don't do that, and I've done that. I mean, hey, you come home from a long day's work or whatever the case may be, you just throw it down on the counter. Remember, children are going to find this. First thing they're going to do is you're going to have your magazine in, and the first thing they're going to do is, hey, what's this trigger thing?
Right.
And they pop off a shot, and God forbid it hits them. Hey, that's a wake-up call. So.
Right.
A lot of manufacturers years ago, they started with this safety lock. It goes through your magazine port through here, comes around and wraps around, locks in. It's like basically a big old
Like a big lock.
Yeah.
Like a bike lock, it looks like.
Pretty much, yeah. Just miniature. Use that. I mean, if that's all you have, if you don't have a safe, put it somewhere where it's locked up. Remove the magazine, of course, but I get it. I mean, we're using this for gun safety, and we're using this for home defense, and we're kind of like battling the twos, like which one's more important, safety or my house. Hey, listen, I mean, the bad guy's going to be banging on some windows, banging on some doors. I mean, I hope you don't leave your front door open and say, hey, come on in. I'm hoping that's not how you look. If you do, hey, that's perfectly, that's up to you. But they're going to make some noise, and it's going to give you some time to understand, hey, I got time to unlock this weapon, grab a magazine, maybe grab a flashlight, and I'm going to defend this house. You know, being with my past history of everything I've done before, it's going to take them 30 seconds at the quickest to get into your house, but it's going to take them some time. So remember, you have time. Get yourself waking up. I got my weapon. You know, have your wife or your husband, whoever's going to do the shooting, the other person call 911, and just be prepared to defend yourself. Is it always necessary to shoot someone in your house? No. I mean, if you don't have to put holes in your new kitchen appliances, I wouldn't recommend it. The main goal is safety, and that's what we're talking about, safety. What do you want to throw on that?
I mean, there are certain guns. A lot of gun manufacturers send their guns out with the gun locks that go through the whole slide and the barrel. I do understand some people's point in not using that. You know, oh, what if a robber breaks in? I gotta take the time to find the key, unlock this. Well, you know, here's one tidbit of information that you could start on. This is something that I do with my kids because I do have certain spots that I leave my gun at, and usually it's where I'm sitting at the time, majority of the time. So, you know, like at a young age, I started teaching my kids gun safety off the rip. I've had my kids go to the country with me. They've gotten accustomed to the sound with hearing muffs and glasses on. Like, they got accustomed to the sound. They've never shot the gun, but they've gotten accustomed to the sound. They've watched me clean and take them apart. And all my kids know that touching my guns is just a big no-no. Yeah. Like, and they've seen what happens when the guns go off. And let me tell you, my kids do not like the sound of the guns going off. Like, they hate the sound of it.
It's loud.
But that's a way to show your kids cause and effect. I understand everybody doesn't have access to the country to go out and shoot on private land or a private home. But, you know, like if you get a chance, if your kids get old enough, take them to the gun range so they can hear what it sounds like and to hear the reaction or the effect that comes with dealing with guns. Like, I understand no parent is perfect. It's almost impossible to keep kids out of your stuff. I know some guns like Taurus, they come with a gun lock that you can just tap into the top. It'll lock the barrel. I know some of them come with like this little orange thing that goes into the actual chamber that keeps you from being able to put in ammunition. But I also understand being in a situation where you have good gun safety in the home, and when something happens, a robber comes through the door, comes through the window, you don't have enough time to unlock that lock. Right. That you don't have enough time to unlock something. The best I could tell you to do is if you do have a gun in your room, try to keep the actual clip separate from the actual gun. Try to keep one not in the head. I know for some guns like this one, you don't have to really worry about the one in the head, but you do have to worry about keeping the actual hammer pulled back. And that goes for traveling too. You know, when you're out traveling, don't put that bullet in the head. Like, you could literally go to jail for having one in the head, especially in Virginia. So just try to keep that in mind. Like, I feel like if you're not an actual gun owner and you don't have enough time to put a clip in and swing back with the slide, like, probably you shouldn't own a gun. Like, I know it takes a reaction time, but that's why, like Daniel said, practice makes perfect. You go to the range, you practice what it's like to throw a clip in the bottom and swing the slide back real fast. That way you can have an idea of just how much time it takes for a reaction for you to shoot back or to actually be ready for when somebody comes walking in your house. Are we saying have these big old AR-15s in your house for home protection? Absolutely not. Like, we're not saying that you have to. Me and Daniel like to hunt. We like to go to the range. Me personally, I'm so used to it. I'm so well equipped into the mindset of being defensive. I would jump up, find my gun, and it would take nothing. Like, I know where it is. I know where it's at. I know where the clips are placed. It would take me all of under 30 seconds to probably pull this gun out, put the clip in, and have it ready to go. Like, I'm used to that. So, like, you know, it's just all about the way you teach gun safety in your home. I believe personally in not hiding stuff from the kids. I believe when you start to hide stuff from your kids, that's when they start to get curious, and then they start to come with the excuse, well, why didn't you? Well, you know, your mom, like, listen, it's not always the mom, but moms, please be open to the idea of teaching your kids gun safety. That way they know what they're getting into and they know the dangers and the risk of actually playing with guns. Another thing that I've seen that it really makes me uncomfortable, it makes me super uncomfortable, is when people are loading guns and they got the gun pointed all over the place. Like, please try to keep that thing pointed at the floor, aimed down to the side, out of the way of people, just in case you got one in the head. I know people that have been victims of that. Me, myself, I was almost a victim of it one time. You have to know where your gun is pointed at all times. Yeah. Be aware of your pistol at all times. Yeah. Like, if you're not aware of your pistol at all times, then just go send it back. Sell it.
Yeah, and let me touch base on how it's very important. So, being military, both of us seeing this at a range, is a lot of people do the whole swing across the pond, is what we said. A lot of people don't realize is this weapon can go off after shooting it for a few rounds. It gets hot, and then it heats up the round. And the round heats up, and it explodes. It's a very, very fine powder. Gunpowder is, and a lot of people don't really go deep into this. At the manufacturers, the powder is separated from everything. And the primers and everything's separated. And the reason being is it's very quick for it to catch fire. But the point is, you know, whether you hold it down, and we call it just holding, you know, basically
parallel to the ground.
There you go. Holding it down, and then you'll see a lot of special forces guys, all these cool guys, they'll hold it up toward the sky. Either way, it's away from someone's face or their body.
Right.
Unloading a weapon, you know, you can hold it up or you can hold it down. Either way. So that's very important. And you don't want to see someone that you love or someone that you know shot in the face or shot anywhere with your pistol. Because that's going to do a whole lot more damage in the long run.
Right.
Let me touch back real quick on home security. And Trey said something that caught my ears is a lot of people own shotguns. And you'll hear the pump, you know, when you hear the click, click, or the pump being...
I'm almost scared the crap out of you.
That's a universal sound. I mean, it's very universal. But also, you know, let's, for example, and this is empty for anybody that's curious, you know, having this, do that, and someone's breaking into your house, that's going to get their attention very quickly. And the reason why is because they know, hey, someone's got a gun. Someone knows how to use that gun.
Yep.
And whether they have, you know, bazookas or whatever they're coming in your house with, that's a very well-known sound. And that's gonna go, think twice. Matter of fact, and I just heard this on the news today, Kennesaw, Georgia, and you can look this up. It is a mandatory law that every household has a weapon. You know what their crime rate is?
Probably close to 0.
Very close, 2% or below.
I'm moving there.
Everyone has a gun, not just in the house, but they carry it by law everywhere they go.
I'm moving down there.
Yeah,
that sounds like the dopest law ever.
Oh, it is. I love that law.
Gun toting motherfuckers.
Yeah. I mean, if you're like Virginia has an open carry law, it has a concealed carry law.
Speaking about home protection, something that you don't want to do, please. In Virginia, if you are in a home where the home is being broken into, do not shoot into the ceiling. Do not shoot into the ceiling. Do not shoot into the floor. Do not shoot into the wall. Don't do none of that.
No pop shots.
That is called shooting in an occupied dwelling. In Virginia, that is a felony charge. You can go to jail for setting off a warning shot.
In your own house.
In your own home. I think in Virginia, you have to give the robber 15 seconds to exit.
Really?
The premises, I think, and then it can only be center mass. You can't headshot. And if you hit in the leg, that's maiming, assault, that's attempted murder. You know, it's a whole bunch of stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff. I employ everybody to read the Virginia laws when it comes to guns.
Yeah, read that law.
Because it can save you.
Yeah, find a lawyer. I mean, especially after something happens in your house, don't talk to the police. I mean, I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah.
Like, God, by far, I'm not a lawyer. Call a lawyer. Call someone who has a degree in home defense or protection. And I hate to say this the wrong way, police officers are not there to be your friend. They're not there to take your side of the story and go to court and say, yeah, This great gentleman here shot a robber. They're not going to stand there and say you're a great guy.
Yeah, they're there to report things as it happened and to give their side of the testimony.
Yeah. So call a lawyer. If something happens, call a lawyer. Now, I live in South Carolina, in the country. We don't have that. The worst crime we have in our area is DWIs and driving without a license. Robberies and things like that, no. Because the majority of the people that live out there in the country carry guns.
Yep.
Virginia's different. I moved away for a reason. But, hitting on topic, when you're concealed carrying or open carrying, you know, I have a holster here on my belt. I don't, please, God, I don't wear this everywhere. So, God, don't call the cops. This guy's walking around with a war belt.
Like
no,
police officer. SWAT.
But on my war belt, you'll see a lot of these holsters that don't have anything to go around the grip. This is called level 1. But it's hard to pull out. The reason why I'm bringing that up is if you're going to conceal carry or even open carry, which I don't recommend, is I think if you're going to have a weapon on you, conceal carry, because Joe, the freaking robber, is not going to look at you and go, oh, he has a gun, I'll take care of him last. If he sees you with the gun, he's going to go, he's my main threat, I need to get rid of him. That's what I would think, but I'm not a bad guy. But I would say, hey, listen, this guy's got a gun, he's an equalizer, he can take me out just as much as I can take him out. I would say go through the class, learn, conceal carry, carry it in your purse. Let me step away, let me show you what I carry.
I was about to say, don't say you carry a purse.
This is not a purse. This is my bag I carry in my semi-truck. And the back here is basically like a kangaroo pouch. I simply slide it in, and this goes on my back.
Well, that's dope.
When you look at this from the front, and this is where I'm carrying it on my back, all you think is this is a man purse. This guy's a little off. All right. I can basically take this bag, slide my weapon out, and I'm ready to go. Women, I mean, God, women have Coach purses that are like 15 feet deep inside.
And not one gun.
Not one
inside
gun.
the gun.
Yeah. Not even, well, maybe pepper spray. But
that's it. Not one gun inside the damn 15 feet bag.
Listen, if you and your husband are on the same terms and are like, hey, listen, let's both carry weapons concealed. Listen, I mean, a woman can carry a purse in a movie theater and it could prevent a crime, versus a man carrying it on his waist and he might not be able to carry it in because they say no guns.
I'm not getting in.
Yeah.
Especially not with these big ass guns.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you now.
So women, I mean, if you can get a G2C or a Glock, whatever you feel comfortable with shooting after a while, put it in your purse. Get a concealed handgun license and carry it with you. All right, because as we all know in the state of Virginia, there's a cop on every block for a ticket for speeding. But when it comes to a shootout, you have to wait till tomorrow to eventually arrive at your doorstep trying to take your statement. Listen, no one's going to come to your rescue. No one's going to come to your help. Get a gun. I mean, with stimulus packages coming out every week, buy a gun.
Get a gun.
Get a gun.
My gracious, I'm not going to tell y'all just go randomly go out and get you a gun.
Yeah.
Go get you a gun.
But practice. But
well, on second thought, stop buying guns because I want to go buy some too. Y'all be buying up the store.
I might buy a few, have a few laying around maybe, so I don't know.
Like, I don't know. I just want to buy a gun. Like, y'all make it so hard to buy a gun.
It's an addiction.
Yeah, y'all buy the craziest guns. Like, I don't understand. Y'all buy the craziest guns.
Yeah.
Like, I've never been the one to buy, like, purple, pink, and blue guns. Like, I don't do that.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, of course, I got another gun y'all don't see up here. I got another 2 guns that y'all don't see up here. Of course, I have a shotgun.
Yeah.
I keep a pump. And I have another 9, which you don't see up here. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah. And if another thing, if y'all are going to try to do gun sales, private gun sales in Virginia, I know the law seems a little crazy, but if you're going to do private gun sales in Virginia, make sure you got the proper paperwork when you do it. Make sure you write up an actual bill of sale. On Google, you can find actual templates that actually put information for you and the buyer. Yeah. That way, y'all could make sure y'all exchange information. It shows that you didn't know they were a felon at the time of buying. And just attach your own gun tag to your own price tag to that. But make sure you keep that paperwork with you at all times.
Gun stores do it too. Gun stores have plenty of paperwork. They do it all the time. Let me touch base on a little topic on that as well while we're bringing up the whole private sale. HR 8 and HR 1446. This is new bills that have passed one side of the aisle is going to the next side of the aisle to get voted on. This will now prevent private sales. Like, I can't bring my Glock to Trey and say, hey, bud, $500 is all yours, no paperwork. Not anymore. They're also going to prevent magazines that you see here that we've held up that are supposed to be bad. So supposedly these are going to be part of the bill as well, and background checks. Listen, I know a lot of people are not gun advocates as much as we are, but understand this is going to affect more and more things coming ahead. So, but yeah, Trey's exactly on point when it comes to selling weapons to people you don't know or you do know. Prime example, like you were saying earlier, his weapon got stolen. Let's say, you know, the guy took the weapon and did a mass shooting at the mall. He's responsible if he didn't report that stolen. They're going to come back to Trey and say, hey, Trey, your weapon, because the bullet's, you know, linked to your weapon when it goes through the barrel. Trey, your weapon was at a mass shooting. You kind of fit the description because our cameras aren't all that well, but, you know, they might have seen you. Mm-hmm. Trey's on the hook now. How does he prove that he sold his gun to somebody that he didn't know? So basically, it's covering your own assets. You know, don't be the person that has to end up in front of a judge trying to plead your case of being innocent when you sold someone a gun. Happens a lot.
That's true. And I'm so super happy that I filed a police report on that particular gun, because had I not, I probably would have never got this gun again. And this was one of my favorite guns. I did months of research on this gun before I bought it. We're talking like going through the Glock 19X that came out at the same time as this gun. We're talking about Walters, we're talking about Berettas, we're talking about FN, SIGs. I went with this gun. This gun was super reliable. I'd have been upset had I not got this gun back. Yeah. Like, and the funny thing was, I was probably able to get the gun back 3 years ago. That's how long it sat in police storage, was for 3 years.
I'm not going to go into mine that's still in the locker because someone's still waiting on trial. How after 4 years you're still waiting on getting a trial date? Whatever.
More power to them.
Yeah.
Don't be stupid.
Yeah. So, but yeah, overall, I mean, gun safety, when it comes to gun safety, if you don't know how something works, if you're not familiar with it, or you need help, reach out to us, reach out to a gun store, somebody. The gun world is like a weird kind of thing. It's kind of like the bikers and all, you know, they got their own little group. Someone's going to be willing to help you out, because the one thing we don't want you to do is kill someone that's innocent, or we don't want you getting killed because someone was trying to hurt you. The whole thing behind a weapon is self-defense. You know, it's hunting too, but if you live in the city limits, you're not going out hunting for deer every day. I hope not. Listen, you might be going down in some wooded area in Newport News. I don't know. I mean,
I might be in Yorktown, Williamsburg.
Could be, but
I might be, but I have a bow and arrow.
Just drive by with bow and arrows. Yeah, it could be. But the main thing, I mean, is to carry it with you. And, you know, listen, if you're going to buy the weapon, again, conceal carry if you can. If you can't, because of something that's going on in the system, I get it. Carry it with you. Don't just, like, buy it, put it on the shelf, collect dust 10 years later and be like, you know what, I don't like this gun because it doesn't shoot that well.
That was a waste.
I mean, you wouldn't go out to the club and buy a bottle of liquor and just let it sit on the table and just be like, you know what, just buy some liquor just because. That's stupid.
It's a waste of money.
Don't do that.
Money and your time.
Yeah. Listen, the weapon is for self-defense, just like pepper spray, a knife, or anything else that's for self-defense. Use it, carry it with you. I hope you never have to use it. If you have to, get a lawyer.
If you have to use it, just remember what it's made for.
Yeah.
I think people forget that idea. Like, if you got to use your gun, remember what the gun is used for. It's not to maim and knock down. The gun is created to take a life. Yeah. Like, that is what it's for.
And it's the hardest thing to do. But I mean, it's your life over their life. I get it. But listen. And then another good point is don't take the entire magazine, unload it into somebody's chest, and grab another magazine and dump the next one.
Overkill.
Listen, even with a 22 caliber round like that, even if you shot somebody twice in the chest, I mean, it's not going to be as explosive as look, they're already calling me about my weapons. This is crazy.
Yeah, we saw you.
Yeah, the ATF loves to call me.
We saw you on the line. But it's okay. Cause
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, listen, 2-3 rounds in someone's chest, and that's what we practice with. In the military was 2-3 rounds in someone's chest, and it takes them down. All right. Hollow points. I don't think we got into that, did we?
I think I do have a couple of.
So hollow points.
These ones.
Yeah. So there's different types, and I don't know. You can see the difference. Hopefully you will. This is a typical hollow point. It's hollowed inside the bullet. There's nothing inside of it. This is a Hornady. This is a home defense hollow point. The redness is basically like a filling inside of it. The reason between that and we'll just use this as a full metal jacket. You can see there's nothing.
Oh, that's not a full metal jacket.
It's not, but it's about as close as you can get to it.
That, my friends, is a Tango oath round. Once this fire gets shot, it shoots out into a four-pronged star, and it actually creates somewhere close to like an 8-inch wound cavity. So all the stuff that you don't want. This is a hollow tip, 6-hour edition. His is a full metal jacket. This one with mushroom.
Yeah.
What he was talking about, like I also have Hornadies too. I have Hornadies critical duty and I have critical defense rounds. They're the same as yours. That little red piece that fills on the inside, I think it's rubber.
Yeah,
and
right.
that actually hits you before the actual bullet hits you.
Mm-hmm.
And it causes a harder hit.
Yeah.
So it's guaranteed some knocking power, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Just keep in mind what you're using here.
Yeah. So these are home defense and, well, self-defense, we'll just say, because you might have to use it out in the public. But the reason behind it is to basically, it opens your chest cavity up, and it basically fragments. Basically, if you've never seen a bullet, what happens is the fragments pretty much become like small little knives, and they just start cutting bone and veins and everything else like that. So basically, it is to kill, and that's the whole point behind a weapon, is to kill.
To kill.
Hopefully, you never have to, but if you have to, I mean, that's the whole point behind it. So if you're able to find it. Hollow points, I mean, they're going to be more expensive than your full metal jackets. But me and Trey will talk later about maybe hooking you guys up with some stuff. But basically the whole point behind all that is if you're going to use the weapon, find the right material to use it with. So hollow points is the way I would go.
Yeah, I like the hollow points. Like, you know, I used to watch people do crazy stuff. Like when I was in the military, I used to watch them put salt on the tip of the bullet and then put wax over top of the salt. So when you got shot, it burns. It almost cleans the wound on impact. But I like hollow points. I like the idea that if I hit you, I only need one. Yeah. I don't believe in overkill, and I don't believe in shooting you multiple times. So. Yeah. I believe in the idea of one should drop you, and trust me, if I hit you with any one of these guns, well, probably except for the 22, but if I hit you with any of these two handguns, if I hit you with this one, I'm going to drop you. Yeah. Like, that's the whole point. Like, I don't buy 22 handguns, and I don't buy 380s.
Yeah, yeah.
But I also don't buy
now, and don't get it misconstrued with the size of the bullet. That 22, if I have it sighted in perfect with this weapon, I shoot you in the eye.
It's gonna hurt.
It's really gonna do some good damage.
It's gonna hurt.
But you know, like I said, I mean, the 22 again, it kills squirrels. It kills small animals. I mean, it's gonna hurt a human being.
Yeah.
So don't get it twisted. I mean, it's gonna hurt. We're saying if you're gonna go with a good caliber. Go with something that's really gonna do the most damage with the least amount of ammo. Because you're gonna have to replace that ammo. And if you're doing a whole magazine, they're $1 a piece. That's $15. I mean, it may not seem like a lot, but
$30 a box is expensive.
Yeah, well, I've seen some for $60 a box.
Yeah,
right, so it's crazy.
30 is, and then you're only getting like 15 to 20 rounds. Like that's the worst.
Well, yeah, that's why I invested in a reloader. So
yeah,
I'm saving a lot of money now thanks to the reloader. Shout out to the reloaders.
I'm gonna get there one day.
I got you.
I'm gonna get there.
Now that I know what I'm doing, because it took me about few months to figure it out, but I figured it out now. So
yeah, it's all good.
But yeah, ARs. If you're gonna do an AR, like we said about the 223, You're going to see some with different color tips. I've got green tips. He's got a black tip. There's some with no color around it. And let me slide this joker on out. What we're saying is around the tip here, there's a color around it. You're going to see some, like I said, with a green tip, red tip. There's black tip. There's steel tips that can go through metal, things like that. I'm just dropping ammo over there. No.
My dog's not going to eat it.
But 223 and 556, like we said, it's the best way to go, cost-wise. You can get the AK-47. You know what's another good point? While I'm reaching down. Brass versus steel. Do you shoot steel?
I shoot brass.
Brass is the color or the type of material it's made out of. Steel actually eats up your insides. It's really going to do more damage to your weapon. So if you can find brass over steel, that's cool. Brass is not going to be as cheap. But hey, when it comes to a pinch and things are going bad with Mad Max and you only got steel, you don't have brass, no big deal. As long as you got something. So I'm trying to think, what else is there to talk about for safety? There's a lot of stuff to talk about safety, but we don't want to.
I mean, I don't know. I think we hit just about every major point that we really could hit. Yeah. If you, like I said, if you're a beginner, make sure you have somebody that's teaching you the right way, not the incorrect way. Make sure you're learning how to do things the right way as far as holding a gun, putting a gun down range, loading a gun. It's very important that you load your guns correctly.
Yeah. We'll do that. Let's just a little tidbit of how to load a weapon.
Well, so I ain't gonna do mine because mine ain't got no empty clips.
I got one. So again, it's empty. Everything's empty. So how a weapon works. So on the side, every weapon comes with a slide hold, and we'll keep it Barney style words. So basically, when you rack your slide, there's a little lever on the side that holds the slide back. That's the first and main step. Make sure everything's clear in the barrel. Make sure if you don't have a magazine, make sure everything's clear. Magazine part, of course, the bullet's facing the barrel. Don't put the magazine in the wrong way, because if you do, it won't fit. But slap the magazine in, give it a good push on the bottom, and then you'll see, of course, once you load, the bullets facing the barrel. All right. After that, there's two ways you can do it. You can release the slide with this mechanism, or John Wick way, just pull it back and let it go. All right. After that, we call it everyone's with the John Wick thing. Get pretty, you know, just to get off topic. Terran Tactical, when they're doing their practicing, that's pretty cool stuff. I don't have the money to do Terran Tactical. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Anywho, so basically now your weapon is hot or it's loaded. You got one in the chamber, ready to fire. At this point, if you're at a range, you want to point it toward the target. Don't point it toward your head. Don't point it to nobody, like we stated earlier. At this point, you want to grip. If you're right-handed, you write with your right hand. 4 fingers around the right side, thumb up. So basically, you're doing this. How it looks. Wrap your 4 fingers around the other 4 fingers. The left thumb, right thumb on top of the left thumb, right thumb on top. As so. And then trigger finger goes inside the whip. All right. Going to everything else? We'll just keep going. I don't know. How do you hold yours?
I just hold mine straight. Everything points down range.
Straight gangster.
Long fingers.
Straight gangster.
Big hands. It's not even really straight gangster. I just got big hands. You know? I wrap down. I get tight. I get a nice grip on the finger. So that way I got a nice position for the finger, for the pointer. That way I'm hitting in the same spot every time, which is on the meat of my pointer finger. Yeah. And you know, I got a good thing. That way if recoil pops back, I have a tight grip on my hand.
Yeah. So after that, again, right thumb on top of left. And the reason, big thing, I gotta share this because I've seen this a lot at the gun range. Right here is basically...
that's a sweet spot.
Yeah. Behind your weapon is basically where your thumb the meat between your thumb and your finger rest. All right, do not put it on the slide.
Oh my gosh.
If you do, and I've done this once just to show it off like a dummy, your slide is metal. It will cut your fingers.
I've lost some meat back here a couple times.
I've done that just to show someone because they didn't believe me. I was like, let me show you. So keep your hands, meat, below, and there's a duck bill right here.
Yeah, keep that.
It's underneath. You can't miss it.
Stick in there, man.
Yeah. Hold it tight. All right. And then just once you do that, you want to punch out.
Yep.
Your sights. And of course, this is empty. I'm not pointing it at my face, so don't go crazy. There's sights, of course, with every weapon. And it's basically, they say build a snowman or 3-dot straight across. Whatever works for you. But basically, you want to line up your sights. Now, for the new people shooting, you want to kind of dip it down just a little bit. And the reason why you want to dip it down is because of recoil. Not only recoil, but your natural reaction is to be scared. And you'll notice this after a while. You're going to jerk. You're going to jerk before you even pull the trigger. You're just anticipating what's about to happen. So if you're new, kind of dip it down just a little bit. Don't point it at the floor, for God's sake. But if you aim in here, aim more about the midway, right here. And you'll notice a big difference is it's going to come up after a while. And just use, like Trey was saying, use the meat of this finger here. Do not use the back meat here. You want to move it up closer.
Yeah.
And just slowly squeeze. I mean, this is not a competition. You're not in a competition. What you're doing is practicing. All right.
Take your time.
Just take your time.
Gotta massage that bad boy.
Yeah. And what you're practicing for is, again, home defense or self-defense. Oh, for God's sake, when you go to the range, do not put your target at 20, 30, 40 feet all the way in the back and try to be freaking sniper with your pistol.
No, do it. Do it.
You can. I wouldn't recommend it.
I want to watch you do it. Do it.
The reason why I say that, again, is self-defense. Most of the time, you and the person that's going to confront you are basically about 5 to 10 feet, maybe closer. I hope not, but they're about 5 to 10 feet. So you want to practice as if something's going to happen. So when you're shooting, shoot 5 to 10 feet away from you. And then when you get better, you can shoot further than that. But again, I mean, you're not in Iraq. You're not going to pull out your pistol and start doing the Matrix out there. You're basically. If you do that,
I might.
I'd like to see it. I'd like to see that with an AR. Somebody with an AR doing the Matrix with the AR. That'd be nuts. But if you notice a lot of videos, self-defense videos, people shooting each other. I hate to say it, but cops have a lot of videos on how they have a shootout with someone. I mean, just get an idea. I mean, how far are they? How close are they? What did they do right? What did they do wrong? You'll learn this over a few years. Main thing is, if you ever get into a gunfight, now, like I said, I hope it never happens. But if it happens, don't stand in the middle of the room. Don't stand in the middle of freaking Walmart, down the freaking aisle 9 with the cupcakes in one hand, gun in your other hand, out in the wide open. Get behind some cover. Get behind something that's going to protect you. If a bullet's ever going your way, you can protect yourself with something that's big and strong. But if you're in your house, you know where your walls are, where the doors are, where your bathroom, everything like that. Get an idea. If something happens in my back door, front door, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? All right, because the last thing you want to do is wake up, grab your gun, and go, now where am I going to do? That's not what you want to do. All right. So with that being said, I mean, like I said, practice at a range as much as you can. Go over the fundamentals. How am I holding it? How am I doing my sight picture? If I run out of bullets, how do I change my magazine to a new one? How am I do everything? Again, I worked at a gun store. I'm trying to tell you, this is the main thing that I've seen people doing. They pick up a gun, they buy a gun, they come in fresh out of the box, they haven't even got the grease off of it, and they're like, man, just bought this nice freaking gun. I don't even know what it is. How do I use it?
Please, when you first buy a gun, The first thing you ought to be doing with a gun is practicing how to take it apart.
Yeah.
You need to go back to front on the owner's manual and know exactly how to operate your weapon. Do not go out here not knowing how to operate a weapon. It looks bad.
It's like driving a car. You go up to DMV. DMV, is that what?
Yeah, would you try to go get your license if you didn't know how to drive?
Yeah, pull up to DMV drunk,
Come
coming
on.
out the door and like, yeah, I don't know how to drive, but let me get my license and let's see if this works out.
Come on,
It's
man.
the same thing with the gun. Don't go to. I mean, yeah, you can go up to a gun store and say, hey, I don't know how to use it. That's cool though. But after the fifth or sixth time, hey, come on.
That'll kill me.
Yeah. Now, you can also buy lasers and everything for these guns. I've seen people do that. I'm more like that for ladies. I think ladies have more of a better reason, I would say.
I don't believe in lasers.
I'll tell you why. I've seen a lot of ladies, and they kind of have this stance here, and they're more not punched out. Men like to punch out. Women are kind of like close to them, but they're not able to see the sights. All right, and I think if you're gonna shoot like that, or you're scared of it, whatever it may be, laser's cool. I mean, it's cool. Just make sure it's dialed into your weapon and everything. But I'm okay with lasers. I've seen people with lasers.
Lasers are suckers. Let me tell you, if we were in a laser tag and you put a laser on me, I just figured out where you were.
Yeah. I mean, there's a positive and negative of everything. But, I mean, if you're in your house and you shouldn't turn your laser on right away. If you know where they're at, then you can turn on your laser and everything. I mean, but yeah, I mean, lasers are going to give your position away. And we like to work in the dark. A lot of people who know what I'm talking about like to work in the dark. I only have a flashlight on my weapon because if I'm going to your house and it's dark and I want to just search the room real quick, I'm not going to keep it on the whole time.
Right.
It's more of, hey, if I'm going in and I want to see what's going on, all right, and it's off. That's why I have my, and I'm trained with it. I know how to work. I know how to work everything on this gun. I know what it's used for. So, going back to safety though, listen, if you don't know what you're doing, you need help with something. I have too many years around weapons. Trey has too many years around weapons. I guarantee you someone at Freedom has probably been around guns way too much than we have been around them. I mean, people go to the gun range all the time. I guarantee you if you go up there and say, hey, listen, I just need a private lesson. Show me how to use this thing. Someone's going to help you out. I mean, and it doesn't have to be Freedom. I'm just throwing them out there. But
Find somebody to help you.
yeah.
If you're unsure, if you don't know, there's no such, when it comes to the gun world, there's no such thing as a stupid question.
Yeah.
Like, please do not be afraid to ask a question.
Yeah. Especially if you don't know how something is supposed to go on a weapon. Like, again, custom built and everything. If you come to me and say, hey, listen, I have no idea how to put this on. Hey, listen, it'll take me 5 minutes to go, where do you want it? What's more comfortable for you? And just put it on. All right.
Ooh, I made it stand up.
You have a
But-
special. Now we're getting crazy. But listen, hey, we love to help y'all guys out. And the whole point behind this video, again, is safety, but it's also, listen, don't be afraid. Don't be scared to buy something because you're unsure of it. Because I put it this way, I'd rather have 5 good people in Walmart with a gun than 5 bad people with a gun, and we're going, hey, who's good, who's bad. So if you're a good person, you want to shoot, you want to carry around, listen, I'd rather you be on my side helping me, and you're like, hey, I've never shot maybe 3 times at a range. Cool, I know how to use you. Versus I got 3 bad people walking in with a gun and I'm the only one. That's a bad scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have any cool stories about, have you ever used your gun for self-defense? Or ever had to pull it?
No.
I want.
I'm not going to talk about that on
Oh,
camera.
I'll put mine out there. And the reason why I say this, because I've actually had a situation. I had my Glock 19. I had it in my holster in Myrtle Beach, and family went out for dinner. And we're sitting close to the door at a big table. And the owner walks out, and I see him printing, which printing means basically I can see his gun showing off. And I thought nothing of it. Until he walks out, and the guy in the front is basically got his fighting stance. He's like, let's go for it. And the owner basically starts to reach. I'm like, this is not going to turn out good. Long story short, the guys, you know, they're running around the parking lot. I'm like, all right, this is not going to be good because this is an older gentleman. I don't know his experience, but I know if that guy gets to his gun, who knows what's going to happen. So I step out, I have my weapon, and I'm not pulling it out. I'm going to tell you this right now. If you ever have to get to the point where you have to pull your weapon out, keep it low. But I didn't have to pull it out that night, thank God. But I walked up to them, and they're literally exchanging words, and they're about to go at it. And I'm like, all right, this is not going to be what it should be. When I presented myself and I say, hey, listen, this needs to stop. You need to separate. This is not going to happen, basically. The gentleman pretty much backed off. Of course, the cops arrived and everything took over after that. But if I had to use it that night, was I ready? Absolutely. And if I didn't have it that night, things could have changed for the worse. Because, I mean, this is a younger guy who knows if he's on drugs, drunk, or whatever, versus an older person with a gun. I'm going to tell you, this right here has 15 places it can go. It can go to 15 different people, 15 different cars, whatever. I mean, all it would have took is for him to take that from him and use it against him and use it against everybody in that restaurant. So what I'm saying is, it's best that I had it and not need it than I have to have it and I don't have it with me. That's the whole point of this. Safety and having a weapon is, hey, look, it's not just safety using a firearm, but it's safety around you. Protect those around you, people you do know and don't know. You know, there's plenty of instances where people had to use their firearm to protect people they loved. And if they didn't have it, both of them been murdered. So, if you can get one, get one. If you can get a lot of private lessons to learn about it, learn about it. I mean, that's really the whole point.
That's the whole point right there. Yeah. I'm gonna get ready to wrap it up a little bit. We're at around our long distance mark here. But anything you want to say to the people before?
I think our next video we're gonna bring out some stuff that is gonna be some special stuff.
Might actually go to the range for the next one.
Yeah, actually, there's an outdoor range, I think, in Virginia Beach.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah,
I think we can actually go to the range.
I'm in the process of bringing something special to the range, hopefully in a couple months. Hopefully the ATF goes, yeah, here's your blessing, son. Have
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Hopefully the blessing of the stamp comes through, and we can bring it to the range and show you guys some cool stuff. I got some cool equipment that we can show as well. I want to say everyone needs it. It's not for everybody, but if you're advanced and just want to learn about it, that's cool. But yeah, buy a gun, get the concealed handgun license. It's good for so many states, not just for Virginia. Carry the freaking thing. I mean, don't just leave it at home and collect dust. Have it. I know it's going to be like a burden. It's like, oh God, I gotta carry this thing. I guarantee you, if you ever have to use it, you'll be like, man, that white guy and that other guy, Trey, man. No one's gonna know my name. No one's gonna remember my name.
They remember like Trey and the white guy.
Yeah, Trey and the white guy had that video and they're like, hey, they told me to get a gun and I'm glad I had this gun and I was able to help somebody.
And this is a good time to get a gun because Virginia just recently changed the concealed handgun permit law. So now you have to do training in person at an actual training facility. You can't
24 hours?
I don't know. I'm not sure about the time, but I know you got to be in person to train now. You can't just go online and get your
Which is smart.
No more.
Which is smart. I mean, if you're going to learn in front of somebody who knows what they're talking about. Because I can put on a class on a video and be like, yeah, take this gun and wave it in the air and you're good to go.
Right.
Learn from someone who knows what they're doing.
That's all dope.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
appreciate y'all tuning in.
Thank you, Daniel, for coming through. You're going to see him a whole lot more. You're going to see him more. Probably in the next month or so, we're going to get some range time out there and we're going to get some more guns. We're going to get some more shooting. So this will be a constant part of the actual YouTube and Freeze Corner. We're going to call it Gun Talk. So we're going to go from there. And please stay safe.
Yeah. Stay safe.
I cannot stress that enough. Do not be out here acting stupid with ammunition and live fire.
I really hope y'all had a good time with that. Like the video says, please be safe. Please, if you're practicing live fire, range time, whichever, please be safe. Please, guns are not for amateurs and rookies. Please watch what you're doing. Enjoy yourself. Take the stress off, but please take every precaution possible when you are using a firearm. All right. I love y'all. Give positive vibes and receive positive vibes. I hope y'all stay blessed, and I hope that this video helped y'all out in some sort of way. All right. Hit me up. Stay interactive with me because I'm going to stay interactive with you. Hope y'all like and subscribe. Make sure y'all shop at www.iamgochi.com. And I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Keep your head up. Remember, steady is the head that holds the crown. Straight like that. Peace.